Alright, so moving over to Bellator, which I completely forgot was on. Someone reminded me in the comment section. Completely forgot I even looked into this fight, honestly. The Bellator card kind of snuck up on me. Odds didn't come out till today. So yeah, anyway, here we are. And we got Fabian Edwards versus Austin Vanderford. This is probably the only fight I'm going to be breaking down in too much detail. The rest I'll just skim through at the end of the video. And Fabian Edwards has a 2-inch height advantage and a 5.5-inch reach advantage, and he's coming off his first loss. Before that, he was undefeated. And his opponent, Austin Vanderford, he is still undefeated. Alright, so for Fabian Edwards, I feel like I'm going to call him Leon a few times, because he does have a similar style to his brother, Leon Edwards. He's a southpaw, he's looking to line you up for the left hand, he has a nice high kick. I think that could be a good weapon here against Austin Vanderford. He's more of a wrestler, and if you throw the high kick against, these wrestling guys, they're going to have to defend it. They can't really hook onto it, they can't grab onto it and work a takedown from there. But say if you throw a body kick or an inside low kick, they're going to look to grab it and look to take you down from there. And for Vanderford, I'd probably say his striking's a means to an end. He's obviously looking to get the fight on the ground, he's looking to throw that overhand right. That's what he'll use to set up a lot of his takedown entries, and then he'll look to drive through that double leg. But he's quite flat-footed on the feet. He doesn't really have great movement. He just kind of stands there quite plodding. And I think he overextends on a lot of his punches. You'll find, if you watch footage on Austin Vanderford, he just lunges a lot to get into range, and then he'll look to throw his right hand, or his overhand right. And he just takes these big steps when he's trying to get into range, and a natural striker. But one thing Fabian Edwards does that could get him in trouble in this one is that he will back up in a straight line onto the fence, and that's the same tendency that his brother has, so I guess that's where he learned it from. But Vanderford, he'll look to drive through that double and really get you onto the fence and look for a double leg on the fence from there. When he shoots in the open, it's either going to be a blast double or a low single. Generally the low single when it's in the open, but he is very good at catching a leg kick and then looking to work a single from there, or just driving through and making sure the opponent gets grounded or after losing their balance after that. But when he shoots in the open, he can shoot from too far out. And that's the problem with range again. Like, he seems to have a problem with, range analysis, range knowledge, where he is in a fight, how far he is away from his opponent, where his opponent can hit him, and where he can hit his opponent and his opponent can't hit him. Seems to have a little trouble with that. Just not a natural striker on the feet, doesn't have natural awareness of the range, in my opinion. But he does have a nice double on the fence, and for Fabian Edwards, I've seen him get taken down a few times by that particular takedown, and it seems like he doesn't widen his base on the fence. Like, he seems to be able to be controlled there quite easily in a lot of his fights, allow opponents to stall in grappling exchanges, and he just seems to not widen his base on the fence. He fights for underhooks, but just the widening the base part, he doesn't really tend to do it. And when Vanderford gets on top, he's quite hard to shake off. He's got good top control. He'll look to get in half guard. I'd probably say that's his favourite position. Generally, with a lot of wrestlers, they like to stay in half guard, land some ground and pound. He'll look for that arm triangle. But that's generally his go-to position. And how these guys win fights, so for Vanderford, he's got good top control, good ground and pound. And for Fabian Edwards, it's when he's being aggressive, he can be a little too passive, bit low volume, a bit passive in the clinch exchanges. And he usually gets aggressive, as the fight goes on. I think he's more of a 5-round fighter, honestly, but, he seems to get more aggressive as the fight goes on, but sometimes it's just a little too late. So yeah, I've already talked about how he loses. It's the low volume, it's the allowing the opponent to control him in the clinch and in the grappling exchanges, and just general passivity. For Vanderford, I think he's quite slow, he's quite plodding on the feet, so I think he could, sharpen up his striking a little bit. Path to victory for these two. So for Vanderford, look to pressure him onto the fence, look to duck under one of the straight lefts of Fabian Edwards into a blast double, and then look to get him onto the mat. Also try and catch one of the kicks, the body kicks, the leg kicks of Fabian, and look to ground him from there. Get some top control, get some ground and pound as well. And if worse comes to worse, if you can't take him down, just look to push him against the cage and look to control him with the wrestling ride. And for Fabian Edwards, look to be aggressive in this fight. Look to take the front foot, be patient with your strikes and your striking entries. Look to tag him as he's coming in, but yeah, just be very conservative with your strikes, because he's not going to be throwing too much volume either. So just look to pick your shots. Don't get too over aggressive, but obviously take the front foot. Try and get him on his heels. Try and get him near the fence so he doesn't have too much space to shoot his takedowns, but also you have a lot of space in the center of the cage to back up when he does shoot his driving double. And also look to feint the knee a lot. He does that quite a bit anyway. Look to feint the knee and then eventually throw the knee as he's close in distance when he's lunging in for his striking attempts. Just be careful you don't get too predictable with it, because he will, start to level change from there. But yeah, how I see the fight going. So yeah, on the feet, I think Edwards might be a little too quick for Vanderford, but his volume is a concern, and I don't know if he's going to take full advantage of his striking advantage, if you know what I mean. But I don't rate Vanderford that highly. I think someone with good takedown defense and good footwork is a terrible matchup for Vanderford. But that's not exactly what we got here. Fabian, he'll kind of just stand in front of you. Doesn't have the greatest footwork like his brother. And he doesn't have the takedown defense that his brother does have. So, yeah, his takedown defense is okay, but it's probably not going to be enough here. Also seems he seems a little too comfortable off his back for me, especially in this matchup where you don't really want to be under Vanderford, who's got good top control and good ground and pound. I don't see Vanderford landing the same type of ground and pound that he was landing against his other Bellator opponents, because I think Fabian is better than his previous opponents, but I see him getting a bit of top control here, and I think he just grinds his way to a 30-27 or a 29-28 decision win here. So yeah, I'm going to go Vanderford. I think he gets it done by decision. Alright, we'll have a look at the betting lines. Alright, so I favour Vanderford around 55 to 60% of the time. So yeah, I think it might be a little bit high. I think it might be a bit of value on Fabian, but yeah, I might have a look at betting, sprinkling a little bit on Fabian. I don't have too much faith in him. I think his tendencies are going to really cost him in this fight, just his passivity tendencies. But yeah, I think the value is probably on Fabian. I don't think Vanderford's going to represent that. I think he's probably going to struggle at times in this fight. I don't think he's going to look that good. That's the money line, whatever you want to look at that. If Vanderford decision was plus 250 or $3.50, which I don't expect it's going to be since this price came out. I was expecting the line to be a little bit closer. But if Vanderford by decision was that price, I'd probably lay a bet on that. I think this does go the full 15 minutes. But yeah, so that's what I think in this fight. Let's have a look at the rest of the card. Alright, so for the main event, I've definitely got Cyborg. Leslie Smith's pretty much just a punching bag, and Cyborg's actually got hands for women's MMA. She's actually got decent boxing, and she can definitely crack as well. I think she gets Leslie out of there in probably rounds 1 or 2. Conservative, probably round 1 if I had to pick a round. But Leslie's pretty tough. She's pretty hard to put down, so she might hold on to round 2. So let's just say round 2. Next fight. These guys have already fought. I think Caldwell is a level above, sorry. Don't know too much about Ben Parrish, but I do know Christian Edwards is quite a decent prospect. I'll probably pick him to win by knockout. Don't know either of these guys. Talked about this one. So that's the main card. The prelims. Don't know Nate Edwards. I know Sadawad is a bit of a journeyman, quite tough. But yeah, probably, I'm guessing a lot of people on Nate since his record, but I don't have too much knowledge in that one. Don't have knowledge in this one. Seems like two quite green guys, so I probably wouldn't bet that one. Don't know. Probably Ghazali. Probably submits him. Looks like the matchups, they're kind of tailor-made for him. Loretta, yeah. So she probably wins as well, They've obviously put Hannah Guy in there for Loretta to look good. Yeah, meme fight, I don't know. I would like for Janae to win, just because she's Australian, but yeah, she probably loses. I don't like this guy, Daniel Sabatello. I didn't like him on the Contender Series, so I hope he loses. But I do like Brett Johns as well, so yeah, I'd be pretty happy with Brett Johns wins, and he probably should, he's the better grappler, he's a better fighter. This guy's a beast. He probably wins, definitely. He's very exciting to watch, he's a beast.